scoring, and what is dynamic scoring? So the baseline that we look at when we're looking at a legislative proposal would be to look at static scoring. So that would be like we're taking a snapshot of what the economy, what the population looks like, and what the tax base looks like right now, and say, okay, now if tax rates go down, for example, we're going to earn less revenue, or if tax rates go up, we're going to earn more revenue. And for each of these analyses, we were provided with, from the Bureau of Legislative Research, with a static scoring of the proposal. Now, of course, not only does a proposal, a tax change, have that kind of direct revenue impact, but it, of course, is also going to change incentives for individuals and for businesses. If tax rates go down, for example, people may want to move into the state to take advantage of the lower tax environment. Or people within the state may be able to consume more, to spend more than they had been. And of course, those are going to have an impact on what the tax base actually is. So we're taking that snapshot and we're going to augment it with saying, hey, now the snapshot is going to change, and we can capture the effects of that change. So if more people are coming into the state, for example, that's more income. That's a bigger income tax base. So even if we're overall losing income tax revenue, we're earning some of that back, as an example. And so we're able to look at the total effects of the proposals, both the direct fiscal impacts, but also the fiscal impacts that come from these changes in behavior. So we have several examples here. Of course, several years ago, the Bureau of Legislative Research contracted with us to look at the economic and fiscal impacts of the Big River Steel project. And so I know we produced a report about that and looking at some of the impacts and what the right incentives might be given the changes to revenues and expenditures. More recently, our clients in the Illinois Department of Revenue have used the tax PI model again to look at the effects of bringing Amazon to Chicago. And I believe they've actually been using some of those impacts as in their negotiations. And actually, just a plug, hopefully for your edification, but also somewhat shamelessly on our part. Actually, our client will be presenting in his findings in a webinar that we'll be hosting on the 21st of August. We'd be happy to share that information if anybody's interested. And as I mentioned before, in front of the Wyoming Legislative Review Revenue Committee, we presented results that we did in working with our clients in the executive branch to look at, again, some of the impacts of economic diversification efforts on the budget. You can also think of dynamic scoring in the context of federal policy and looking at what the CBO does. Until recently, the CBO just did static scoring. But several years ago, Congress adopted a resolution so that now, at least in certain cases, the CBO has to provide this kind of dynamic scoring and estimating what are the effects, not only the direct impacts on the federal budget in this case, but also what impacts do changes in behavior as a result of the policy have on the federal budget. So again,